Tuesday, October 19th, 2010. Big day in the markets. We've got a move against the trend, and obviously with this big a move, some people are going to debate whether or not it's a change in trend. By my thinking, we do not have a change in trend yet because we haven't established a new trend. It's simply a counter trend move. Doesn't mean that we aren't going to see a reversal, because one thing that we have seen in the markets lately is a lot of volatility, it seems to me, and certainly today was a volatile day. We're looking at the UUP chart, which is of course the PowerShares US dollar index bullish fund, and you can see that it's gapped up to its current level, and here's the cursor shows this gap right there. You know, in the old days, you used to think that the charts would fill gaps, which would mean it would have the price come back down to these levels in here to fill this gap before they could advance or start to continue the downward trend. But, you know, I don't know. Things are so volatile and so crazy between politics and economics that I don't have a clear sense of this. You know, I would have thought, and as I said in an earlier video, that we might see a rounded bottom happening here. If this is a trend change, it's certainly not a rounded bottom. If it's simply a counter move trend, it just indicates a pretty severe amount of volatility. Some serious buying had to come into the market to drive this kind of a move today. I'm going to go take a quick look at SLV, which is, of course, for many of us, a prime trading vehicle and something that in a physical silver that we all like to collect. But silver had a major down day today. To me, that's not shocking in that we've had this very profound advance, and I'm not convinced that what we're seeing here is a change in trend. It has come down and touched this line, but in reality these lines are neither so accurate nor so perfect that a simple poke through like that has anything to do with breaking the trend line. So I'm saying that's pulled back to the trend line. If you believe in this trend line, that pullback represents a buying opportunity. If you think that we're going to continue to see a correction, then not so much of a buying opportunity. My hope, again, you can't trade on hope and you can't trade on fear and have any success, but my hope for the future, and this has to do with a lot more than just the price of the metal, my hope for the future is that we see some of the volatility go away, maybe kind of create a retracement here, which would be like the first down leg in an Elliott wave move, get ourselves some stability, and create a nice base from which we can move forward with higher silver prices. I think most of us would agree, most of us who'd follow the charts and look at these economic issues would agree that the future holds higher prices for the metals, higher inflation, and a lower and weaker dollar. But temporarily, we're going to have these waves, and I just can't see that this strong wave we've had so far is not going to have its correction. So it'd be nice to have that correction, have it happen in somewhat of an orderly fashion, and create a base. I think if we have order in the markets, it indicates that we're going to have order in society. I don't think any of us really want to have the kind of disorder we've seen in France and Greece, but there is that fear for the future. You know, a lot of people on YouTube are talking about survivalist kinds of things, storing food, ammunition, so forth and so forth. Certainly those are always good ideas. You don't always, you know, want to just be subject to only having in the house your minimums. But the reality is none of us, I think, really want to see riots in the streets, and we don't want to see social turmoil. I think we'd like to see an orderly society with sound money, but we don't want to have to go through a revolution to get there. And you know, this is partly why I'd like to see silver make kind of a nice little retreat to some kind of support level, whatever that might be, and then continue to build its upward price progress. So kind of a long speech there. I'm sorry for that. I'll jump over here to SPY real quickly. This is the ETF for the S&P 500, and you can see that it's floating right above this trend line. Open to suggestions of whether that's a valid trend line or not, but it's now looks like it's becoming some support. It'll be interesting to see throughout the week if this continues to be support, if we fall back into this channel. Again, we can come back to this level in the channel, this lower trend line, and come way down here and touch this and still not lose the value of this channel as an upward channel. So I don't see that we have a change of trend yet. Gold real quickly, major drop in gold today, gap down. Again, that gap by old standards, we'd expect to see that gap filled, but that doesn't mean it'll happen right away. However, again, not necessarily a change of trend. I won't bother to draw that trend line, but I suspect that this right there, where that cursor sits right now, is at today's gold low, is probably right on the trend line, and what happens tomorrow is going to be very, very interesting to watch. So that's where I see it here today. I don't really have any other wildcards for us. I will jump over the Dow 30 real quickly here. Just to point out that in the Dow we also had a substantial pullback. But again, nothing that absolutely says we've broken the trend. So that's the moral for today is pullback day. Not a trend change yet. We don't have a confirmed change in trend. We don't have broken trend lines. We have a dramatic pullback. The rest of the week is going to tell the story, and I look forward to sharing that with you guys and seeing what everybody else has to say about it. Thanks.